welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. I'm Gomo. I'm excited. I'm here with Josh and Andrew because we've got a big episode tonight.
Massive episode.
We finally got, Games Workshop finally reached out and just said, "Fuck, we are so sorry." And yeah, we've got that's breaking news, isn't it, guys? They are shamed. They are upset with themselves, but I think they're finally delivering on their apology for the last, 9 years of just horrendous decision making. And I think they've just almost saved themselves potentially. And you're going to hear it here first. Not really first, but what are we talking about, people?
They let us all down.
Actually,
school down,
before we talk about what we're talking about, I just want to just give our quick patrons a shout out, actually, just before we get into this, because it's going to get pretty busy, I think. We've got our patrons over there on patreon.com/Fanatics. Yeah.
Changing it all up.
That's right, changing it up. We've got a new one, actually, as well. So I just want to give them a big shout out, and that halftime after all this crazy news we'll talk about, they'll get a shout out for them, because when you join, you get a very special shout out from us. So I just want to, I guess, give them a big thanks straight up. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, add some comments as we go here. We really appreciate it all. But we really want to just sink our teeth into this. Well, this great news that we got, wasn't it? It's amazing. Can you guys?
So much news.
I'm overwhelmed with the news. I still can't.
We did put together a little video just to play, just to pump everyone up in excitement for it. So, and look, some people might have seen it, but I think it's worth playing to get the mood started. So I'm going to kick it off. See you on the other side.
Grand Cathay is among the oldest civilizations in the world.
They really have apologized, haven't they, guys?
What's going on?
Under the watch of my father, Sen Yang, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, Grand Cathay stands as a bulwark of harmony against the forces of darkness. Now, as the hordes of chaos threaten to breach our sacred battlements, this haven of order prepares for war. Upon the walls of the Great Bastion are mustered countless soldiers, ingenious war machines, and other more esoteric defenders who stand ready, determined to hold back the tide. Resolutely, I perform the duty bestowed on me by my divine father centuries ago. Through devout study of the twin powers of yin and yang, I master the elements and summon lightning from the heavens, striking our foes and inspiring all those who fight beneath my banner. I am the master of the storm winds and the supreme matriarch of Nangao. I am Miao Ying. I am the Storm Dragon. This is Grand Cathay, our eternal empire.
Oh my god!
Plastic. Look at it. Plastic.
Oh, look at those minis.
All new. I was just like, what the hell's happening? Bang, bang. It's just... guys, I just had to play it. I know everyone's probably
not inspired now to go out and buy an entire Cathay army. I don't know what will make you do.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, how shocked were you guys? I mean, I know I jumped straight into that, but I just wanted to get the video out of the way and just like, we are, well, I mean, we were pumped. Obviously I did the live stream response last Thursday and it shocked me. You guys,
yeah, I watched it. I went back and watched your guys' reaction. I still remember where I was. I was at work, just in the surgical theater, and I looked at my phone. I was like, "What a Cathay!" It's like one of those moments in your life. You just remember the time and place where you hear the news.
Yeah.
It's like 9/11, but in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, that's right.
Josh is right in the middle of lopping off some poor dog. He's like, oh, Cathay!
Yeah. Between you and Cam, I'm just not I'm not going to a dentist or a vet. You know, I'm very skeptical that they get anything done.
Where's their heads at?
Oh god, no, but like
it was during lunch break.
was,
Honest,
it's probably, and I know we're obviously into fantasy, so we're going to obviously stand up. But I think even the internet, what's it called, the zeitgeist or whatever, like at least in our hobby side, they're all, even 40k people, they're all like, wow. I mean, I think that reveal was above what everyone, no one expected it, and they kept it quiet. Really, like there was not one little leak about one plastic sprue or do you know what I mean?
There was that one hint that, to you guys' credit, where you guys were on top of it. We called it months ago, and that was the only. There was no other leak of minis coming up on eBay or other like price lists and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, that might be indicative that we might still have a very long lead time until it comes out. I mean, who cares? I mean,
way of looking at it. But honestly, man, I don't care. I don't care if it takes 6 months to come out. The fact it's coming is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, I think you were the closest in terms of our predictions at the beginning of the year, the release schedule for the year, weren't you? But it's still above what you said, maybe.
Yeah, still
it was.
Because I think it was like, by early winter, the core factions would be out was my take.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that that by before April, so during March, they'd be announcing Cathay.
And seeing it. It's not just it's not even just like, it's
like
coming.
A year away.
It's like, Well, I think I said it'd be Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, I was like,
that's right. Yeah, I think you guys were like, it's going to be, they'll release.
I said, we'll probably see it. I thought we would see it this year, but I thought it would be like, you can buy it next year. So hopefully it's not still that. We have to wait 9 months. But, I mean, even if we do.
I also never have guessed they would announce it the same day they also announced the release of 2 other factions.
Yeah.
It's like they're just like, get them out the door. What's going on?
Have they ever done this with any of their other game systems? Actually gone, here's 2 other things. Who gives a shit about that? Here's this thing. Bang.
They're milking all the other ones for all they can get. And then, these 2, they're just, here you go.
We're like in a desert looking for any drop of new releases, and suddenly after all this time,
and that's why I mean, yes, it's tongue in cheek in a way, but I think this is them really just. I mean, I just took it as they are. That this game is here to stay. Like, and I didn't think it wasn't really, you know what I mean? But I'm not to go out on too much of a limb, but it's going to end up being the second leg of the stool again. I guarantee. I think it'll beat AOS like long term again. I think it's going to do that. That's where I think it'll
be cool. And I think you're right.
Yeah. How many years?
If they support it properly, there's no reason why it wouldn't. And
because it was
big first.
I want to see Warhammer Fantasy supported like 40k is in terms of the community that they're doing now. They're doing such a good job with their community stuff. And that will include then bringing out things that make it easy to get into, like like they have done with AOS and Kill Team and 40 with 40k and all that. 100%. But
be good.
If they can do that, there's no reason why it's not going to be just this little other special. I don't know. Will it ever move out of specialist design? Sure, I guess is the bigger question. But they're probably too big to get into right now because we should just enjoy what we know about it. But that's our initial,
I think
like shock factor.
Yeah, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We just had this massive release, and this is all going almost uncomfortably fast.
Can't believe, like you said before, they're like kept it so
I'm not used to this. What's going on? Why are they being so generous? I'm suspicious. Why are they giving us so much stuff?
Yeah.
But it was so quiet. I always wonder, GW's got some internal secret police or Gestapo that goes around and keeps the IP. Like the staff's actually quite big, and surely there's quite a few people within design teams. And I can't believe there was no leak on this. It's crazy. They must be really, really tight with their security and everything.
Yeah, they pulled it off well. They never
because
usually do it.
Yeah, no, not to especially when it's a whole faction, but I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. In some sense, maybe because it is so big, it might be easier
so
internal to like lock it away and say you don't have access. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last whole new faction they released was the Ogre Kingdoms.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna guess,
Yeah?
but I wasn't 100% sure then. But yes,
Which was in 2005.
Yeah.
Was it 5? I was
20
going to say like 7. I'm like, geez, was that long ago?
Maybe 2006.
20
But yeah,
years.
it was 20 years ago.
Jeez.
So that's 6th ed, eh? That was when
And
that's
that's
the
in
first
6th ed.
all new faction. That
7th
came
ed was
in. Up to
2007.
Tomb Kings, yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
So we saw Tomb Kings in 6th as well. That wasn't in 5th, eh? It was 6th. Can't remember now.
Oh,
Or did we see it split
that
in
was
5th?
It split. Oh, I can't. It would have been around. It was. I think it's split
I
in
know
5th.
Vamps
Because
came
I'm pretty
out
sure.
in 5th.
Yeah, because there was the Ravening Horde 6th ed had both factions, so and that was 6th ed, so it would have been 5th ed when they split.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah.
And there's still a
that's-
branch like
yeah.
this. Cathay is a
Yes.
whole new faction.
They've been
No,
cutting away
100%.
factions.
You could even say
before.
ogres were like, they're new, and they were all new, but like there was ogres in the world, whereas this is like,
Yeah.
they haven't really made Cathay at all, have they? Ever?
No.
Like,
No.
so
Never even had rules for it. Nippon has close to
I mean, it's quiet. And look, I don't know, like you gotta. It's obviously Total War has given them the confidence to do it because they probably would have. If I still think they would have done this game potentially, maybe I don't know. But they probably would have come out with.
Do you think?
I don't know. Previous, I don't know either. I wouldn't put money on
doubt
it.
I really doubt it.
Yeah,
Total War has saved this.
Yeah. That's very true.
I think it has.
But I'll say yes, but the other thing I'd say is it's the people who play the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like like people just want this franchise, you know. Give it to me however it comes, and that's, you know, and I think that's just proven it. So
I think you're right, Tomo, about like how big it could be. Like, imagine if Asia jumped on board with Cathay, and you were getting those numbers coming in from, you know, I mean, you got China's huge. Cathay is kind of based on that sort of realm, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
that aesthetic.
Yeah, and look, I think this will be the first one where you'll see. Yeah, I mean, you'll see these miniatures pinched for the other game systems, which just hasn't happened for a long time. Because you've got, you got the White Scars. Is the White Scars in 40k / Horus Heresy, like the sort of Mongolian dudes and all that sort of stuff? You could use them bits of that for that. Then obviously AOS. So because it's all new plastic range, so I just think, anytime. I mean, that's just
Well, yeah. Fantasy having the privilege of that for many years.
Yeah. And I'm not upset with what we've got so far, but it has all been re-released stuff with just the odd thing, and it's just amazing.
Odd thing,
bang.
Yeah.
This is, and just fantastic looking stuff. So anyway, I should bring up while we're talking. We can bring up what we're actually getting.
Let's hit it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people doing this stuff, but we haven't actually all recorded since then.
Guys.
So, so, and I know people wait to.
I can do it.
Oh, sorry. He's gone again. Sorry.
Yes. I need to work out how to move that banner. Oh, actually, I can move the banner. What am I doing?
It's in media assets, man.
Yeah, I'm an old man.
I need to see if I can zoom this so it doesn't totally go off the page. Yeah, that's probably okay. Look, I mean, we're not going to sit here all night and read everything. Everyone's seen all this stuff, but I mean, like we said, I mean, you've already covered this, Josh. It's the first completely new faction. The first completely new faction released for Warhammer the Old World. The cool thing there is they're not saying it's the only new faction released for the Old World.
Yeah.
So, I
the
mean,
first.
You know, to think that we're going to probably get Kislev. I can't see us not getting Kislev now since we've seen some of those bear
Kislev is coming.
stuff. Yeah.
It's already made. It's in the vault. They're just waiting to send it out.
I think the question was, would they follow a human faction with another human faction? I think they absolutely will. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
No?
I think at this
I don't
point,
think that's a problem.
Yeah. And I know they want sales bumps, but at the same time, these armies, you put this stuff out and it takes years for it to people to go through. People can't just go and buy it and then that's it. They have to like buy into it. Oh, I'm going to start Cathay next year, so I'll start Kislev the year after. So you just need to have this stuff there, so people can just buy it. You know,
and you want to have a reasonable time frame between them, so people get excited about this one, maybe buy it. Then the next one comes out, and they go, "Oh, maybe I'll buy that one too."
Yeah,
whereas they're too close together.
Well. Tell us about it now. Yeah, with these two armies coming out now. Anyway, we'll talk about that next. I was going to ask, do you guys know the procedure with the dates on the sprues? Like, how does that work? Because I'd love to know, you know, when they like put the little dates on the sprues where it says like 2023. Is that when it's actually being pumped out of the mold, or is that when the mold was made?
Date.
So it's not the design date?
I don't know. That's why I was like, because I'd love to know what dates are on these when they come out and whether or not.
I'm sure some of the bases would have years on them from when the base was designed.
So
some of the really old,
the 30 by 30 bases, like Games Workshop ones, or actually the Bretonnian ones, the 30 by 60s have 2023 on them. So
right.
So a couple of years before, well, a year and a bit before it came out. So, I mean, not too far ahead. So.
Not too far ahead. I thought you might have said a year or two earlier than that, to be honest.
So it's possible that, you know, even though they'd started this, once they decided to cull it back, they probably didn't take it much more than computer design, potentially.
My gut feeling is it's the year of the design of the mold rather than the year. I don't imagine they'll update all of the molds to just change the year. Every year, like that just seems.
Oh no, I don't mean. Yeah. So it'll stay that forever once you pump that out until you need to do it. Yeah, and it probably gives them an idea how old the mold is, obviously as well.
Yeah,
for if they do need to redo it. Cool. Yeah. Well, this is our battalion box. So 30. What was it? 30 Jade Warriors, 10 Jade Lancers, and 2 of these cannon things. So.
Yeah, 2 of the cannon thingos, which are cool.
We know so much about these things.
Did so knowledgeable.
It's Total War, isn't it? Yeah.
I unfortunately, Gomo, I only played 2 factions in Total War.
Can I guess what they were?
You can probably guess them.
Fair enough.
Oh, I never knew that.
You know what's funny? Josh has got the first army out of Old World, and he'll get the last out of the first initial release for his armies. That's pretty
funny. That's true. I really got to dust off the woodies, so I haven't played them.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when we talk Wood Elves. Actually, I was looking at a unit. I went,
we'll hit the woodies later.
That's
a really good battle box for this, isn't it?
That was going to be my question. Like, how do you think this sits up? I mean, obviously it's all new, so you can't really even compare it to the other ones in a sense. But it does feel like a similar
we don't even know what the rules are.
a bit bigger. Like in terms of the number of troops, it's not much different. But you don't really get 2 war machines too much, do you? Do you get it at all in any of the other ones? You get 2 chariots occasionally. That's about it. In some of them.
There's a steam tank in the Empire one, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just only 1 steam tank. You get 2 gyros, which I guess are...
Yeah.
So it's sort of precedence, but I'd say this has got more in it, and the fact that it's new, it's probably not going to be... He's probably going to be a bit pricey, I'd imagine.
I imagine it's got to be, right? For the all new minis, a whole new range, surely it's going to be pricier than the typical battle box.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. No, I think so. So it looks just fine. I mean, who cares? Yeah. I love their drums. We'll get closer shots of each individual unit as we
Yeah. We'll go through each unit
down.
one by one,
so the Jade Warriors, obviously these, and so the first thing out, they harp on this a lot that it's like elite army. So is that just so they didn't have to make so many out of the box, or because it's actually not a big army in terms of the range yet, which is fine. I can't remember what. Came out in Ogre. Like, how did Ogre Kingdoms even come out? Was that?
I don't know. I wasn't actively playing when it did come out, so I wasn't around at the time.
Yeah.
But I imagine they would have started small and then expanded over a year.
Launcher,
just had more and more releases.
What's the other thing? What's the good thing called? Not the scrap. The Iron Blaster.
Oh, Blaster. Yeah.
So that dual kit and what's the other stuff that came out? They were all 8th ed stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Some of those bigger.
I don't think they had a
plasticky
scrap
things.
launcher model. I think that's why that weird halfling tank was made originally, because it was a counter scrap launcher.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, not to compare, but I mean, obviously, when you get a new army, a new faction, it's always going to be a bit cut down initially, and then they'll flesh it out, which is fine.
Yeah, because there are lots of other, units in the Total War game that they've designed off.
Talk about some of them
designs that. Yeah. We'll hit that as well, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, these Shade Warriors look really good, guys. I mean, I'm just such a fan of this whole aesthetic they've hit.
Yeah.
It's not over designed, but it's just ornate enough to fit the theme.
Well,
really...
you know how were you guys worried a little? Not so much worried, but like when you saw things like the Lizardmen, and then you try to rank them up. That sort of, and even the Chaos Warriors that are in AOS, and people try and rank them up. They're sort of they're actually quite hard to do. Whereas yes, these guys fill out. So these guys are going to be big. They're obviously going to be.
They're big. What scale would you call this? Like 32 mil or more?
32 mil at least. Yeah.
At least
roughly 32 mil.
Easily.
Yeah.
32.
But they are very still Warhammery,
Mil,
Yeah.
35.
They're like
towards that heroic 32.
Designed to rank up.
There's a few dynamic poses here or there, but most of it is pretty regimented.
Yeah.
But still with enough character in it that it looks cool on the table.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I want to see the end of this guy's
beautiful balance.
The hero's sword thing or whatever he's got, because it's a massive pommel, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and look at, is that where it would sheath into? Is that the sheath, the thing next?
Yeah.
To it?
Yeah, wow. You're right. Or is that the guy next to him?
I don't know. It's one of them, but it might be the guy next to him. This guy's got it as well.
Yeah.
But they're huge. All of them.
Those are huge, aren't they?
Because they've got their swords out, I guess, but they're massive. Straight
around.
Yeah, and obviously all the heads, get enough heads to do male or female. So you can do mix or match them, or I mean, just having those extra heads is going to be awesome for different stuff. Like I said, different game systems might even nick them.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a mixture of different options in that regard.
Yeah.
No, it is.
I love the drum. When I first saw it, I went, man, that's cool, that drum thing.
I like the banner because I reckon that's going to be awesome. The transfers, surely.
Yeah, they are. They said
wicked transfer
later.
Yeah, that's so good.
I love that they've done that because they're obviously Old World is actually the addition of transfers, but ironically, you can't put transfers on any of the models, so it's sort of funny how that's happened. You know what I mean? Like nearly every battalion box comes out with all this stuff, like 180 transfers, and you're like, where can I put them? The shields are all there.
Yeah, the shields they're not designed to take them in the first place. Yeah,
that's a bit weird. But anyway, that's Games Workshop for you sometimes. Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, the artwork on those. Yeah, it's going to be good. I wonder if you'll get like lots of different options, or I wonder if they'd even do different banners that are embossed and you get a choice. I think that'd be cool. Sometimes. Yeah, so obviously these halberds and all the dudes, but yeah, obviously these are what they call them, just it's the heavy infantry basically. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I think these guys have reroll 1s on their armor saves, sort of like Gromrel armor. I think someone was saying. I think that was mentioned in the video.
Yeah, right.
Right. And then the Jade Lancers are the dudes on horses. So
cool.
Which like the body is, I love the little intricate little like what would that be, that trimming in the bottom underneath the metal body and stuff, and the way that goes up with the legs, like the dynamism of that is really nice.
If anything, I think this photo angle's a bit weird because three of them are looking right at you and they make it look like demigriffs almost.
A little bit,
a bit weird. But I think these will look spectacular in person, especially I think you'll get to see the dynamism, more than what you do just with these pictures, I think.
And I hate painting horses, and these guys can be so good to paint. Yeah, I just can't. I can paint armor. Armor's easy. I can paint trim. I don't know, horses. I can't do the shading well, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wide, slightly tilting spaces. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Very unforgiving surfaces to paint.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think the airbrush works. How's that? Good. I love these musicians. Love them. The drums on the side of this guy.
Oh, I didn't even see him. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I've never seen a drummer in a cab. It's always.
Oh, he's got one each side. It's like big.
Yeah, he's like.
It's only been.
So cool.
Oh, does he? Oh, he does. Yeah, bongos going on.
Yeah.
I've only seen horns and a lute.
Yeah.
In the Crossing Night, a musician.
Yeah. I can see. All right, so you got the guy, and this is a pretty cool aesthetic to a unit. So you got the guy on the left and the right facing out. Do you reckon that's actually like the fit? Because is that the second guy from the middle, like almost tilted over? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this guy here.
Yeah. I'm just like,
because he's going that
these
way.
guys so big. Like,
maybe
the standard bearer.
Still don't rank.
So
Probably.
Big.
Yeah,
you might even have to aim the guys out.
I think your concerns are probably warranted there. Yeah, because
that
between the standard bearer and the champ's spear,
Yeah.
it looks like they're pretty much touching, and it looks like the champ is sort of angled towards the photo, the angle of the photo. It's not straight on.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but they got bigger bases. It's supposed to build some space now, guys.
Yeah,
nah, they're just
supposed to rank up easy.
It's fine, but yeah,
that's always going to be the case.
It's gonna, exactly. No, they're going to be good. These guys have something like, what was the rule? Did you see they mentioned something about like extra rank on the charge or something like that?
Oh yeah,
as well. So, or they can counter charge straight through. Or something they can do another, like if they charge and wipe someone out, they can then do a counter. No, something weird. I can't remember what it was. They sound pretty devastating, but I guess this is the thing that I think they're going to be a good army out of the box, because whether or not you like it or not, that's probably what game. I sort of hope they do, because I'd hate them to be like the Bretonian Knights on foot where you just don't see them.
Yeah.
Because they're, whatever reason. I really hope they fix some of that infantry issues, and then if these are good, at least they'll get sold.
Yeah, I mean, that's better that they're too powerful than so poor that you never see them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they're like really power creepy and the best, then you just see them everywhere, and it's also not great.
It's not good. And then Brett's will have to run. It'll turn into like 7th edition army books or something like where it just goes. Yeah, hopefully not.
That's the risk with releasing a whole new faction, unfortunately.
So, question quickly with that, what you're saying about the rule set. This is me conspiracy theorying, but
here we go. I love your conspiracies.
How would you say that the rule set was primarily designed thinking of Cathay Kislev and the way that they play? Or you reckon that's just too far of a reach? I'll just be interested to see
it was
because there's so much
play tested with them in mind. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Because if these were the two armies that were originally maybe going to be
really
released,
good question, man. I didn't even think about
that's a good question. Yeah.
I
don't know.
I wonder how this rule set's going to go with these guys, being that infantry's weak, but maybe infantry's really strong for these guys, sort of thing. Like
well,
to make up that sort of stuff.
Stepping back from that are you also implying that the army books for this, and potentially Kislev as well, was written at the same time as all the other army books and armies of infamy? Would you say that'd be?
I'm guessing that Cathay and Kislev were going to be the launch armies. I think everyone sort of like had a bit of that. And then that was maybe too much of a big scope, so they've had to. All right,
we're basically not doing.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're right. I wonder if it was like.
That's very plausible.
Although, okay, the only weird bit there is, where's the army book for them? Like that'd be weird, because right now, I wonder what would have happened. Do you know what I mean? Because they'd always wanted to just bring out the army books the way they did. Because I probably would think they would have, because that's sort of what they've done with Horus Heresy and stuff. They'd sort of had those joined up ones. I guess you could argue. You get a small list in each of those boxes, like they just have the book in the box or something or whatever. Oh, no, but there would have been launch boxes. I don't know. That's really weird, man. I'm not sure. I
don't know what they might have been planning if they launched them.
But on one hand, I sort of think you might be right, where they're just going, oh, well, we're going to scrap all the plastic range, keep keep what we were doing with the rest of the armies, just re-release them though. Like, you know what I mean? Just bring out Tomb Kings and Bretts because we've got heaps of plastics for them, you know.
This seems to be the new scale, so it just seems like the money in this is going to be obviously the new models coming out. So everything's going to come out, and then you know how they like re-release a faction.
You know what though? I mean, I know this isn't groundbreaking, but the fact that they probably were designing these and then going, yeah, we have to up the base sizes because you know they're just used to building these models like that now.
Yeah.
Like if we're going to go back, we can't scale them back down to these little 25 by 50 horses. They're going to look dumb. You know, that's probably what they might have been thinking.
Yeah, is that the genesis of the new base sizes?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it was. Yeah. Just to give designers a little bit more, you know, canvas to work on. Yeah,
true that.
It's plausible. Well, they could just have scaled it down slightly. I mean, I imagine these were digitally designed.
Oh, they are, but I'm just wondering if it just
pushed a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The more slightly more plastic, the more they can charge for them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. It sells. When you see it on the tabletop, I think a bigger model does sell. Like, you know, it's just
yeah. No, I agree.
We should see what the year is on these molds.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then you got the Cathayan Grand Cannon, which is with the cool little ogre guy with the back. Is there another picture? Like what's actually on his back? Does it say? I don't know. Like, is it?
I can't tell.
You can't tell.
I haven't seen it.
I love how it's coming out of a dragon. It looks like just a big lead belcher or something, you know, cannon and stuff. That's cool. But I will say, and we'll get into this with the Lantern, man. Some of these facial expressions on these characters is just awesome. They're just
And I guess that also comes from just not just the better design, but also there's just that slightly bigger scale. It just makes it that much easier to portray the facial expressions to come through.
Yeah.
Whereas a proper 25 mil, it's just a little bit too small to really reliably get.
Especially when it's humans, hey? Yeah. Like this guy with his pipes, you know. I love he's smoking a pipe around a really explosive rocket. Cool. Love it.
And the old dude with like the crook back is like, it's really good. The posture is just perfect.
This ogre's hand's huge, but it's funny. I was saying this with Takam on the live stream. I really hope they get one of these multi-rocket launchers good because you just never see them in any of the every other one they've got out there in the different factions are just shit. No one takes them. So,
I'm sure they'll be good. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. 5-inch template, strength 4, AP -2. Reroll on scatter.
Something nuts.
What do you
You'll see them so much, Gummer, you'll just be sick of the sight of them. It's fine,
true.
I'm sure.
What do you reckon the ogre does for these guys? Is he a bit like the orc? It seems a bit. I don't even know what the orc bully does these days. But
did you hear the rumor?
Them. Oh no, what?
No.
So apparently, I think.
For it.
Well, the ogre's like a quicker loader, so I think it was the rumor of one turn you can shoot twice.
Oh, See, I hope that's right because that's such a cool little thing. Like, it's not totally OP'd, but
it's just one.
Yeah, like you can do it once per game.
Yeah,
but you can.
I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, but I mean, if that is, that's I like those little something like that.
Mill.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, and then oh god, can you guys pronounce that? Shugangan. How do you say that? Shugangan Lord on Great Longmar?
Yeah, Josh should have a bit of a. Do you speak a bit of Mandarin?
No, but
it's
I think it's Shugangan.
Shugangan.
And also, I don't really speak. Yeah, anyway. I can't speak
Chinese. Didn't know what they speak there. But,
Look at that. Man. The only problem, so the only downside after this army is I'm a bit intimidated by it.
This is an intricate model, man. It's so good. Yeah.
I think a lot of that body doesn't scare me because that is very highly contrasted, very light, a lot of glazing, and you do a pretty decent job. Those wings, though, to get that. I mean, with airbrush, you do it pretty, but it's just so vibrant. Orange and vibrant orange is just fucking hard. The good thing is, maybe this means they'll bring out some better oranges. I don't know.
Ooh.
You know, well, sometimes you get a new army and you get like new paint sets with them, like, and they're called something.
Yeah.
Interesting to see.
Just
I like
such
their
a
oranges
just such a
better.
mystic look to that whole model.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
So what
so
is this?
pretty.
It's it's a horse dragon or something? What is that? It's got antlers. What? No, it's not a horse. What is it?
Nah, but I was going to say the antlers belong on a wood elf dragon for sure.
It's a great spirit longma. Is that what it's called? The actual creature.
Is it? Okay.
And then what is it?
Sort of a dragon creature, but it's not a.
It's a
Like it's not a
descendant of a celestial dragon. Yeah.
A monstrous creature.
Mm.
Maybe not a behemoth. Is that a 50 mil base, you reckon?
I don't know. I reckon some of these are different. I can't tell, man.
I think it's a 50 mil base. Yeah. I think from that top-down angle, it looks square.
Surely it wouldn't be behemoth. You think it'd be like a monstrous
If that's
creature,
50, though, that's not massive then. This thing's pretty small in a way. But I guess you're right. That person's
it's just a dude. Yeah, that dude on it. Like,
one
it
on
looks
the
no
right,
bigger than the royal peg, really.
Yeah, true. I'm not as intimidated anymore. These are actually cool. Like, I love, this is definitely Warhammer Fantasy style in terms of one hero, one foot, one hero on a horse. And I'm guessing you can switch. Have you got pictures of that? Can you make that person on the horse a BSB? I don't know if they've seen pictures of that, but I'm assuming they might do something like that.
Surely.
Yeah, surely they would.
So then they look pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing to...
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I
like how you're getting the
really
different
nice.
paint job colour.
They look really nice.
From the Jade Warriors, like you got the red and the oranges in there. So I think it's really cool paint job, actually. I like that colour, actually. I'd like to see I know they're Jade Warriors, but I'd like to see them in that sort of orange. I reckon they look cool.
Yeah. Wait, is that the system that the characters get painted red?
I don't know.
Because they're promoted? Because it says in that little thing that the Jade Warrior garrisons are commanded by the gatekeepers.
Right.
So they've been promoted from the Jade Warrior. So is that like the fluff that they go from green to red?
Could be.
Yeah. Sure.
I love how they've all.
You paint it whatever color you want.
Yeah, it's right. I love the horse. Like the horse has this dragon helmet thing over it. Like it's all,
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
It's just awesome. Have you noticed like their
nice
belts?
Level of ornate?
They've got like this padding under their belts. All of them. Like if you go all the way back, like these have them as well. The Jade Warriors. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at some of the early. I don't know what year this would even be, but in Chinese military history, like I'm assuming this is all borrowed from that. So like the clothing and armor and stuff.
Sort of sash thing. Yeah.
It stops you bleeding out if you get a belly wound. So I don't know. Maybe it's already pre-packed med kit in there. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. But then you get this thing. I mean, this is
the Sky Lantern.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
People are going to convert theirs to light up, hey? That's going to happen. I reckon.
Yeah.
That'll turn top of it into a ashtray or something.
I reckon. That'll be fun.
Or smoke, like a little smoke thing coming out the top.
I'd really be worried about knocking this thing over on the tabletop because it looks like it's pretty tall.
They're top heavy.
Top heavy.
Yeah.
Just knocking out stuff from below. Especially you have a candle in there or something like that.
Yeah.
Lighting it up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's very sturdy. Like, sometimes these intricate models, they're just,
Now, they did say something about it's a whole new flying base and size, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I saw the edge of a flying base.
I don't know if...
I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
Have to be...
and they've got so much little details. Have they got any close-ups of the dudes in the platform, by the way?
Yeah, here we go.
Because I just want to see the close-ups because there's just so much going on in there.
Look at him.
Oh,
shot someone's head off and he's like, ooh, hey.
Oh, yeah, he's very pleased with himself. Yeah.
And the guy's just dropping bombs with smoke. Yeah. Again, they got bombs and they just got their pipe out as well. It's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a pipe. Maybe that's what he lights them with.
Maybe. I suspect that's how he's lit the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they got all the different weights out the back and that type of thing.
Well, they're bombs. Are they bombs or weights, you reckon?
Are they bombs?
Bombs.
They're actually bombs. Yeah, okay, cool.
Because you got the little rope things. So you have
the
rope then it just.
Yeah.
I was overthinking the design of a hot air balloon.
Well, they do have. There's ropes
little
going
sandbag
everywhere in this
weights.
thing.
Yeah, sandbag weights. Exactly.
Yeah. That's not. I wouldn't
You're right.
put
They're
that
bombs.
past them.
No, now I look at them again. You're right. You're totally right.
Ancient Chinese bombs.
How do they actually make this thing go? Like, do you just? Is that what those side things do? Like, because
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just like little.
like because you've
little
got like
butterfly
some.
wings.
Yeah, like you've got like obviously the heat, and then you move these things. Or I don't even know how they move.
Wasn't the heat produced from some, like, there wasn't a specific source of heat in the fluff, wasn't there, about where the
was
heat
there?
comes from?
From a dragon. Don't know.
Yeah, something
I love-
dragon-esque. I can't remember. I thought it was in the video. Anyway.
Oh, could have been, yeah. So I love this bit though. From their lofty vantage point, a magistrate observes the battle using flag and banners to signal enemy movements to generals below and provide artillery with instructions to fire without line of sight. So it's pretty cool. A little bit of difference again to bring these guys. So
Yeah. That is good.
that's
So pretty.
it's like this will be miniature of the year or something like what people do with these things. I reckon some of this Cathay stuff. So. Then you got the Sentinel, which again, like when you first see it, you go, oh, it's like just it's all the same color. But the more you look at it, the more you realize, man, it's actually going to be kind of hard to do a really good job on this without it looking like you've just washed it. You know?
Just dry brushed it. Yeah, washed and dry brushed.
Because it's got a lot, and they've put a lot of
Yeah, there is a
like,
lot of
extra
subtly
stuff
different
in here.
tones, aren't there? Yeah.
This one's probably easier to do, but when you get to the terracotta one, I reckon that might be I don't know. I feel like terracotta might be potentially even harder to do. Maybe
Absolutely, I agree.
Is it?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
The stone is a lot more forgiving because you can just doesn't really quite matter what exactly the tone you hit.
Yeah.
Whereas the terracotta one, for it to read as terracotta, you just need the
It's gotta
right
look like terracotta.
sepia / orangey tone for it to read properly. And that's going to be hard to crack.
Yeah.
I reckon. Because you can easily make it like too bright sometimes. And you're like, oh, no, it's not quite right. Then you're going to wash it. Then it gets too dark. Doesn't get the right tone again.
This got, you don't really see them until you look into them. They've got a fire within them. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at this. Like the stone guy's got these cracks of something like lava or something. And even the terracotta guy's got it underneath his head. You can see in there, it's like he's powered by some type of infernal, heat. You know what I mean?
Fire. Yeah, good point.
So
I was looking at their weapons because, like, the weapons and like around their chest and just below their neck, it's like, is that embossed? Like it's all swirly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the
all
weapon
of it.
head.
I think that's textured. I don't know about the weapon head. I don't know, man.
But it's the same on both. That's why I'm like, maybe it is.
It might be. Hopefully it is. It might be, I think you can see it's
Unless it's both freehand. It's a lot of freehand.
I think it is embossed, I reckon.
Yeah,
Just,
I suspect
like a
it
bit
is.
of depth there.
No, it's really detailed.
This
like
thing
you said,
is big,
but
eh?
simple.
Because that's a one. I'm assuming that's on a 150 by. Is it 150 by 100, or do you reckon it's bigger? Because this dude is bigger than the Gargant, I reckon. AOS, surely he looks big.
I'd almost need to see it next to other models.
Do we have? Do they?
Yeah, we don't have
show
any
that on this?
any concept of scale for that photo, really.
Okay, right. I think in the video you saw them. Hey, probably should.
Yeah, I thought there was a big shot of them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, they would have been in those videos, but not on these. I'll have to go back through it.
I'm gonna get on Google.
Have a look. Now this is interesting though. We can have a chat about this. The Arcane Journal, 48 pages only, so not a full army book or anything. I mean, technically, it is a full army book, I guess, but
right.
Like we're not getting armies of infamy here. We're just getting
dwarves.
Grand army.
48 pages. There you go.
So
it's literally,
So it's still an Arcane Journal, but it's armies of. So do you think it'll have 3 different lists in there?
No.
Or
I don't
just
reckon.
have
It's
the
got
Grand
this
Army?
one. Yeah. In fact, it might not. I'd argue it's not even the Grand Army. So the fluff for these guys that they sort of come to the old world, like to almost help. That sounded like what she was saying in the video. That's not actually Grand Cathay. I mean, it is Grand Cathay, but it's not like They're actually in the old world, so they've like traveled here. So they've just brought. That's why they've just brought what they've brought. They haven't brought like peasants and stuff with them.
But it's called the Grand Cathay, isn't it?
No, that's right. That's the factions.
It
Grand
says
armies.
armies.
Grand Cathay.
I don't know. I reckon they will have different compositions in there. I reckon they could.
I'm just looking at the.
It
so
says rules
of
for the
Fantasy.
armies of Grand Cathay.
If you look at Force of Fantasy, Wood Elves start on page, just as an example, about 120 and go through to 155. So 35 pages just for the Grand Army list for Wood Elves, for example. So if you have a couple of pages of fluff and then painting as well, because you'd need that, you're pretty much at 48 pages, pretty easy. But now, admittedly, the Grand Army is not going to be as big as that because there's not many units.
The question is, do they put in a whole bunch of unit profiles for stuff they haven't released yet that they're going to release?
Well, I think
that's the other question.
I don't think what we've seen is every plastic thing we get, even in the first. But I reckon there will be some more still.
There will, So does that mean
will?
It's just going to be in the book, and then we'll be like, oh, okay. So this.
Well, I'm just saying, by the time you get this book, they're probably going to go, yep, and here's a couple of other units, maybe.
Yeah, right, and just give the previews at that point. Yeah, that makes sense.
It seems very weird not to have a missile, like even just, they got the peasant. Are they peasant bowmen in Cathay? I think there's handgunner dudes as well, sort of like the...
I think it's handgunners.
Like those Cities of Sigmar dudes that have got the shields in front of them. They're a bit like that, aren't they? There's a couple of... Like, to be honest, all you would need is that one box, like a dual box, handgunners and bowmen or something like that, wouldn't you? And then you'd almost be pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be getting to a rounder type thing.
Again, I didn't play Cathay, so I don't know. I'm assuming there's different types of cav units too, is there? Or not?
I haven't played Cathay. I played everybody else but Cathay pretty much. Sorry, the Sentinel, the big giant, is 100 by 150.
Yeah, okay, so that's just the big base. Yeah.
Oh, but right, you found the info.
He's filling it out, though. I mean...
Yeah, if you see him next to the other units, you're just like, oh, yeah, he's on
and like his weapon's like well out on either side and stuff. So
Yeah. No, he's a big
Of course,
boy.
You can't rank these two next to each other because they're spilling off their base now. And then they did all that, and then at the end... Then they still had more, which is obviously we got the we'll read about this, but
suddenly we still got more, like ever more stuff. Yeah, yummy. So this is the transformation lady, isn't it?
Yeah,
such a cool concept.
Yeah, not something that's ever really been in Warhammer at all,
except for the frog. It's about the only thing when you transmute someone into a frog. It's about the only, isn't it?
Or just changing.
Yeah, I guess so.
The frog
or when the goblin miscast had where they turn into a squig.
Oh yes, yes. I forget about that. Yeah.
I mean, even the Wood Elf shapeshifting altar didn't actually shapeshift. It just had stats of different stuff. So this is a whole new concept in terms of voluntary transformation, I guess.
Something tells me they're going to be pushing the word nudge on this a lot with this one. Just if she doesn't have enough room, just nudge things out of the way. It's like
when does a nudge become a shove?
Yeah, no one will think that one time when she's like in human form, fully surrounded by 4 units, and then turns into a dragon. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, she's not on 25. Like she's a 40?
Yeah, at least 40. I think it's a 40. Yeah,
that's pretty big.
Yeah, but that dragon base looks a lot bigger.
Oh yeah.
It reads really nicely. It reads as that dragon looks like. Yeah, I can see that she's transformed. From her.
I love how her arm isn't one of her hands like still a dragon. Is it? Like,
the hand is like.
Can't really see it on this picture, but I've seen it on the other
scales
one.
or something.
Yeah,
armor like
right
that.
Hand. Yeah.
That is.
And this is. I was saying that.
I don't know how that breastplate gets so much larger with the transformation.
Oh yeah.
I guess she can transform items, not just herself.
Yeah.
So she's obviously not a flying dragon, but she can fly herself because she's floating there, but it doesn't have any wings.
She does seem suspended Yeah, that's a.
I don't know. I don't think the Chinese dragons ever had wings.
Do you think she loses the ability to suspend herself in dragon form? Then is that what you're saying? Yeah, she could just float around, magically float.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
They float.
I think that's a good idea though, to have like this dragon that's probably got dragon stats type thing, but it's not flying around killing everyone because it doesn't fly. Like I think that's.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's how they mitigate. Maybe she flies, but the dragon form doesn't, and that's that's her limitation or something. What you don't think? You think she's flying everywhere? Just stay in dragon form. Why not just stay in dragon form then? Just like fly everywhere.
Well, this is the thing. I guess
it's going to be. She'll be a caster. I reckon she'll be like some. I haven't played Cathay, and I'm just guessing she's got caster written all over her, and then the dragon's going to be if you get into combat or something, but it's not going to be like some kick-ass combat dragon.
Yeah, well, that's the thing because you'll want to have good reasons to be in each form, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to just go, "Oh, the dragon's better."
There needs to be a trade-off. Yeah, I agree.
And the fact that the whole thing's going to be yin yang, like you wouldn't be surprised if this is like. Yeah, the dragon's offensive. The other one's more, buffing and being defensive for the rest of your army or something. I don't know.
I'd love that if there was an army-wide rule, like it was just like yin yang, like somehow you got different buffs.
That's what everyone was talking about.
You'd have to have two armies, pretty much. You just swap the whole army out.
Yeah, you just got one.
My Jade Warriors become Ruby Warriors. Take off the board, put the new
we've got that. Obviously, the magic is going to be that. It looks like, I don't know if it's 2 full decks or not, but it's definitely yin and yang magic.
Yeah.
And then I think what is in Total War, like the missile troops, like it was synergistic, like it's almost like this army, if it does it right, means you shouldn't be able to take a skew list because it shouldn't play very well. It should play with, you have to have all the elements. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, whereas here, the 2 magical laws of yin and yang. So the cool thing with this release, which we'll get when we get through all of it, is that it appears we're getting 4 new magic laws between 3 armies because we're getting 2 in this. And what appears to be 2 new whole magic laws, I think, when you get into Wood Elves and Beastmen. So, which is interesting if that happens because it's we haven't seen any of that since Troll. Or whatever it's called.
No, it's been ages. It's been a year.
Let's just say, Warriors. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the. Oh, here. Yeah, sorry. Here's the other pictures of her. The side of the dragon. Those whisker things are going to snap off straight away, aren't they? I think. Those are the dragon.
Guaranteed. Just
although the reins, sorry. Is that no, she can't have reins. She doesn't need reins. No one's riding.
No, they're whiskers. Yeah. No one riding it.
Yeah.
The mustache.
Oh, I like the spines coming out of her elbows. It looks cool.
Well, it's reminiscent of the spines on that armor of her hand. Yeah.
She'll get converted too into like an elf and stuff as well. Hey, do you reckon? Like you could convert this girl into some stuff. Maybe the dragon arm's a bit weird, but
kind of
floating around.
Yeah. I know where you fit her, but definitely I think there's potential there. 100%.
The only thing is the cape. The cape actually reminds me of that. Remember it was in 8th Ed when they brought out the assassin for the Dark Elves. Didn't he look like this with a sort of like this big leaping cape when he was jumping or something?
I think Skaven had the similar. I think Dark Elves and Skaven had that similar, like the cape up, diving down sort of thing.
They're all jumping off rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is. I can't wait for the first arc. What's not Arcane? What's it called? What's those things we get every now and then? The
almanacs.
Almanacs. That's it. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
Like, I wonder if we'll get more info of Cathay, or we'll just it's going to go on hiatus for a bit. Because we do have 2 armies to get through yet.
They can't go on a hiatus, can they? They've just given us so much.
I'm just confused we got all this in the first place. It's just
me too.
It's insane.
Me too. I would be confused if they blast us with all this stuff and then they just go dark again for like another month.
Start running.
We're definitely getting Beastmen. Should we go? Do you guys have more stuff on Cathay you want to talk about, or just wrap up your excitement, or what? Before we jump on the other 2?
Yeah, I'm excited. Super keen.
Okay,
love the
I'll ask you
aesthetic.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, I'll ask this. So right at the beginning,
Yes.
a few months ago, I put a poll out on Warhammer the Old World, or it's called, the Facebook group, the big like Ergo's one, and I had, if Cathay comes out as a whole new army, would you buy it? Remember that? And I had yes, no, and I was actually a little bit shocked that I think it was only, what did I say it was? Was it in the 30%?
Yeah, I think 30 something.
Yes,
Yeah,
it wasn't
mid-30s.
very high. Hey,
Mm.
do you think that number's gone up, and or should I just go and post it again at some point and just see what people think?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of excitement about it, but the difference between being excited and actually buying it, deciding you're going to go and tackle this whole new army.
Maybe it's not a bad question, you know.
There's 3 of us here.
Like 1 in 3 is still pretty significant.
Are you going to get it, Gomer?
Oh, that was going to be my second question. So are you guys going to get it? Yeah, that was my... What do you think, Andrew?
I'm not a huge Cathay fan, to be honest.
I'm not either, but I'm happy to get into it and try. And it's been a long time, in fact, probably never, that I've ever bought a new launch army. Do you know what I mean? I'm always buying armies that have been around forever. I think even when Tomb Kings first came out, I didn't get into them until really 8th edition when I bought heaps of them. So it was like, I've never actually just bought into the new thing sort of thing. So I'm like, fuck it, time to do it. So, I mean,
there was another faction, but that might have come out.
Like Kislev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like with Kislev, I would buy some of the stuff because I would assume you could use it in Empire, but I've never wanted to have a Kislev army either. Like, I'd rather just have Empire and have some Kislev dudes in it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's just like who you're drawn to. Like, everyone's got what they like in fantasy. Like, some people like dwarves, some people like elves. You know, some people like the humans in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you're drawn to.
I think this is probably, to actually, when I've thought about it, I would get it, and the reason I'm getting it is because it is new figures, and it's an opportunity to try something new. So you're not really buying it on your love of that faction. It's more the fact that this is a cool looking faction. It's new. It's the modern sculpts. I want to have a go at trying to do that because I've never done that with AOS because I never played AOS. So like, I've been painting models that are, except for the 3D printed stuff now, are quite old, you know. So it'd be cool to like jump on, just something new.
Yeah, no, definitely, most definitely.
So outside of that, I'm assuming, well, they're not Bretonnians or Wood Elves, so Josh probably isn't into them.
I am, like, I do actually quite like the look of the army. It is tempting, but right now, I mean, this is a weird way of phrasing it, but I'm not really looking for a new faction in my life right now.
You're barely looking for a new game system.
Unless it's Mordheim.
It is a commitment. It's
to make exception,
right? No, it is. Yeah.
But I actually do. I really like it, and if I was available, I would probably take it.
Yeah, I'd love to see what you could do with it. That'd be cool. I guess, Andrew, I mean, if you're not going to get them, would you get Kislev? Like, if they were the only 2 that came out as new plastic full armies, and then maybe down the track they start re-releasing, you know, legacy ones and stuff, would you not get any of those 2, or would you just?
I like Kislev. I think they're cool.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like probably another army that isn't a human army, but
if they brought out what Chaos Dwarves,
which one are you specifically?
What do you mean?
Vampire Coasts or?
If it was Vampire Coast, I'd be all over.
Yeah, you'd be all. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that'd be bloody good too. I just bring them all out. I'll buy them eventually. So you know.
Yeah.
Just give.
Even if they sit under my bed somewhere for 10 years, and then I complain that they're all old models by the time I start painting them.
It's this shit.
Anyway, cool. Cannot give Games Workshop more props than we already are. Like, it's just, impressed us.
Yeah, I don't have a complaint. It's just, they've come out. The models are just incredible. They fit.
And I know it's a lot of work.
They're not overdone. They're not. It doesn't feel like Age of Sigmar. It doesn't feel like it's modernized Warhammer, but it's still
and it's
hits
new.
Hits that old feeling too.
I
don't know how they did it, but they did it.
No, you're right. It could have actually been not a dud, but it is a risk going into an area that has never been out in the old world either. So it's people aren't looking at that going, "Oh, I remember that when I was 14." Like it's because it's not. There's
no nostalgia. None.
Yeah. So it is a bit of a risk, but at the same time, I think their modeling skills and how good their miniatures are, I think, makes up for it, I guess. Look, it's not a bad thing to overcome, but I think it's going to be good. And man, I think we will see full rebuilds of most of the armies, I think, over time. And it's going to take years, to do that. Maybe it will be more like, maybe you don't get vamps. Maybe you get vampire coasts. Maybe they will blend it into their own IP over time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, do you think that's what they'll look at doing?
I don't know. I've got no... Like, I know some factions probably lend themselves more to that than others. Like, some already are very Warhammerish, if you know what I mean. They don't really need a lot of it. But they might try and skew it away from sort of the straight Tolkien ripoff all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they do that, I think you'll find at least you know what you're getting quality-wise. This is what you're getting, So
I wouldn't say like Age of Sigmar is bad. And I'm not saying that these are Age of Sigmar. But the thing with it's in that new era where you can bring more detail, like you're saying. The scale is bigger because I've seen some of the older crowd. Oh, it's so Age of Sigmar-ish. I'm like, well,
what, the Cathay stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Like that. So, I've heard it quite.
I haven't heard that feedback. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you get the older crowd tend to not embrace the new as much. But yeah, like, all right. So you got a bigger scale, things like that. You've got the ability to put more detail in. I feel like it's the aesthetic of the Warhammer world is what you need to keep in mind, which this does.
Yeah,
whilst like Age of Sigmar is more of a
it's not
steampunky sort of
exactly.
It's a different aesthetic.
Yeah, and some people like that, and that's fine.
Criticism, to be honest.
Yeah,
like, it's not like these guys are all regimented. They're not like all dynamically, like all posed different ways on all these rocks and flying everywhere or looking ridiculous. This hits the Warhammer Fantasy brief really nicely. I can't see how this can be complained about as being Age of Sigmar-y. Yeah, nothing wrong with Age of Sigmar. It's just a different aesthetic, different type of game.
I also think it's, even though I don't know much about Cathay, I have known, like if you told me 20 years ago what's Cathay, I could tell you that it was somewhere out east or something in Warhammer. Like just like Araby and like, but I don't know much about it, and that's probably near ogres or something. Like that's probably what I would have said. And so it's still nostalgic in a way, but it's exciting because it's like, oh shit, I'm going to learn about this bit that I've never known about, And then especially over time, if they do, again, we'd have no idea, but if they do add ogres back in and all that, and they, they do like that whole eastern side, if that's the right way to look at the globe, and even chaos dwarves down the track, like you get, it's just like filling it out, like it's filling more of that Warhammer world out. Past,
that's a good point.
World, so.
It's a good point. There's still a nostalgic element. It's not like they've made up a whole new faction that we hadn't heard of before.
Exactly.
It's a faction that you know of in a mysterious way, and they're opening it up. Yeah.
You know how, I think 40K brought out like the Necrons, and I think there might have been some hints of it in the second edition, but not like that was. So you get these totally new factions come in, and it's pretty rare when it happens. And this is, but it's sort of not. So yeah. Anyway, whoa, excited. Let's just smash in. Let's just brush over the other news. Which is so funny.
Brush over the other news.
No, just you know how they did on the preview with the next two coming out. So the Beastmen and
wait, do you want to do the Patreon stuff before we hit this, or do you want to just go straight
well,
into
yeah.
it?
Well, I was going to go into this is originally was going to be the main topic, wasn't it? So maybe I won't. Yes, I'll do the patrons. Let's do that. I've got to bring that up because it's already over an hour. I'm just that.
Yeah, we're hitting our now. And like my uprising stuff, like I'm doing a 6-ep pod tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
We can just keep hitting this.
Yeah.
It needs to be a double episode. Oh, jeez. There's so much.
So, anyway, I'll go back top of the show. I jumped straight into this because I was so excited. But yes, we do run a Patreon. I'm sure most of our listeners actually know that over on patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. You get a shout out if you're one of our paid members over there. We actually got a new one today called the Old Warrior, Blog Warhammer the Old World. They're well, I'm going to look this up, Blog Warhammer. I thought they were a patron. Now I might be getting them confused with another Patreon. So, yes, I'm going to go check these guys out because they've just joined up literally an hour or so before the pod.
Hey!
So big thank you to the Old Warrior, Blog Warhammer, the Old World. So,
right. Yeah, I see them now.
Maybe go and I might have to check them out because I might have gotten confused with another patron. Because there's a couple. Oh, it's Old World Behemoths down here. Sorry, that weren't paid. They're the other ones I was getting confused with. They're that new channel down at some of the dudes from Western City Wargaming.
Yeah. No, they're good, the Behemoths. I've been watching their stuff.
All right.
So they're free member, but the Old World Warrior is just paid up. So thank you so much, man. Number 48 on our list. Outside of that, thank you, Silver Dave, Sporadic Sanity, Mark. Is that renamed? Because I don't remember it called Mark before. Someone else.
I think it has.
It's renamed. It must have been someone else. Yeah.
Surely.
Thanks, Mark. That's anyway. Nick, Grant Vanderbosch, Chris Bowler, Drunkhammer Nate, Ben, Shooter Louis, Eugene Chaffel, Benoit Fawcett, Edward Fawcett, I should say, Cam the Dentist, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride, Flatwell Jed, Sexy Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Kill Herd, David Dodger Lancaster, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Thumper, Matt Morris, Perfidy, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Nananoum, Daniel Broadstock, Jonathan Wengler, Elliot Mitchum, Gilthos Draconos, who he is having an existential crisis over Cathay.
I know.
He's basically.
He sounds like it's...
Is he? Did he say he wants to get to 20,000 points of painted Cathay? Is that what he
I think
saying?
that's what I heard on the live stream. Hasn't he pretty much thrown his Brahonians in the bin? He's like, I'm done with this yellow and black scheme. That's it. Yeah. No, I'm going to go paint Cathay now. I'm testing models.
He's always the biggest Cathay army. I can't remember. He was actually hoping he could get it done by some other crazy tournament, but it depends when it comes out, I guess. Diesel, Demi Gamer, Robert Z, OG Whirler, Tainted, Bobby Gherkin, Gunwitch, Sean Ritchie, Todd Lloyd, and Chapstick. So thank you for our 48 paid subscribers. They definitely help us turn up week in, week out. If you aren't, or even if you are a subscriber, we do appreciate the like, subscribe on YouTube, and comments. They're the best. Helps the algorithm. So that's our shout out. We'll go on to the next topic, I guess, which is what I do have up there at the moment, which we thought we were getting, and we were all ready. So,
questions? Okay, all right.
Oh man, I'm all out of whack, man. I'm so buggered at the moment. Do we even have any? I thought we had like one.
We have three. We have three.
Question.
Okay.
Let's
do that.
Can we hit the questions?
Josh is all over this.
Man, thanks, Josh. You should host when I'm this buggered.
Okay, so there was one that we missed from like 2 weeks ago. I feel like I'm just dragging this along. Sporadic Sanity, because he posted this right after we recorded, and then I said,
that's right.
This is the.
He was like,
"Oh, come on back."
Wait, which one? Oh no, this is before that one. This is the week before that. So we'll hit that one next. But this is he was asking, getting back into the hobby, but I'm finding motivation to paint is pretty lacking. I keep comparing myself to all the fantastic armors see here and realize I'm a million miles behind them and my painting efforts are terrible. Give me some motivation to man up and finish my Brett so I can actually play the game instead of staring at $500 of undercoated plastic.
That's a topic. That's a podcast episode.
That was
we
like
really should do that.
I remember that. That started that chain of conversations. And
yeah. It's I don't know. Maybe you should just go out and buy some Cathay. That's motivation, right?
Just put them in the bin. Put the Bretts in the bin. Well, I mean, I just don't compare. Don't compare yourself negatively to some of the other fantastic armies. I think that, I mean, that's just gonna.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You
just
gotta start painting. And
yeah,
I think the best thing is having a slow grow or something where you can just try to knock off a small amount at a time, but then go out and use them.
Yeah,
and then that keeps your motivation going to go. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll go to paint another.
Plus, you see them, don't you, on the table or set up just before the game.
Yeah. I think the slow grow is the best way of getting your whole army painted if you're trying to get no motivation.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like if you know you've done it before and you've got 3 other armies and you're stuck on the Bretts, then sign up to a tournament. That's what I'd say, and you'll get them done. But yeah, if you like what Josh is saying, where you don't have actually a particular thing, I think that's definitely the way to go. But if you don't have that, I mean, how else? I mean, the other thing just think about is sometimes just small steps. Like even if you just do a little bit every now and then, it's like, it might suck, but just paint a little bit that next night. And eventually the stuff does start coming around. You know what I mean?
It does. But I guess my point is you got to be playing games with them as well. Gives you that motivation to keep hammering away at it.
Yeah.
I think that's the hard thing is, trying to maintain your motivation. If you're not playing games with it, it makes it harder.
I created a little schedule when I was painting, my dwarves especially. So like I'd have a TV show I'd watch, and then I'd watch the show, even though I wasn't watching it. And for an hour and a half, basically, or it was 2 shows. Over the course of 2 shows, I'd kind of watch them and paint. And that was just me. That was like my routine. I just created sometimes just comes into a routine. Like you need to start a routine. I think everyone's like, I think it's that writer's block sort of thing. Probably painter's block. Once you start painting, funnily enough, you just keep painting. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're set up and then like, you do like half a unit or something like that, sometimes it's just getting the motion going is what keeps it going.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
What about though Sporadic Sanity's comment there that's saying, my painting efforts are terrible. Like, I mean, what do you do where, maybe the motivation issue isn't that you don't want to paint. It's just that you painted a bit. And that's a bit frustrating. I can imagine that might be frustrating. Obviously, going back to our first point, probably don't try and compare. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to what you've been doing, I think is one of the things. And then just don't try and take on the whole world. Like, and even that comes down to the whole army. Like if you don't think your painting's that good, maybe don't paint a whole unit. I don't know. Like I feel like you might just butcher the whole unit. Like maybe it's not optimal, but maybe paint a figure up one model right up to completion and then try it again, improve something. And then maybe 3 or 4 in, you start getting a pattern of, okay, the washing's better now. Like, and obviously pick some of the things that just...
That probably is good advice. Yeah, and because if you're also just trying to work on your techniques and like watching YouTube videos and that type of thing, you might have painted 2 or 3 test models, and then you go, oh, maybe I'll try that technique, and then you go and do a couple more, and you go, oh, that's actually really good. But you keep going through a unit, and then you might go back and go, okay, I'll try and fix up these earlier ones I was doing.
Yeah,
kind of thing, rather than batch painting a whole unit.
I think if you're not motivated,
be happy with it.
Yeah, and you're not happy with your your output, and then your result, and you're trying to do a unit. I can understand not even wanting to start or continue if you've half started because you're just like, why?
Yep.
So that's
almost. He's got the wrong army too.
Yeah, that's a good
hard
point.
army.
The most
I don't want to start them there. They're so regimented. They're so like, there's only so many ways you can paint it.
Well, you can't cheat on it. Like, there's no real just contrast hack it done.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's no there's natural contours. You really got to work hard on your shading.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Cathay.
Hopefully we didn't.
Cathay.
Well, you're up.
We've told him to bid his army twice, basically.
Cathay.
We're like the shittest self-help group ever. How can I help? Sorry, Battalions.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. All right, I'll go to the flat sword edge one, which is the most ridiculous one. It's a silly question for the show, simply because I was failing to answer on a long run yesterday. Against a 2,000 point enemy force, imagine you could take a single model at 2,000 points, so costing 2,000 points, that had straight 10s in all stats, magic resistance 10, magical attacks, and a 5-up, 5-up, 5-up unmodifiable saves. Would you take a bet with a literal Earl of Hell? You could win a 5-game tournament if winning gave you personally fly 12 and $12 million. But losing meant you were transformed into an elephant seal and thrown from a Chinook helicopter into the Arctic Sea from 10,000 feet altitude.
I don't know what medication is taken. That's what I want to know.
I know, it just fell apart at the end there. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Send me what you're taking. I want to try.
I don't really care what I'm getting transformed into, though. If I'm getting thrown out of a Chinook helicopter into the Arctic Sea at 10,000 feet, I'll probably die anyway.
What's the point of being transformed into an elephant seal?
He's crazy. Patreons.
I mean, I probably wouldn't bet my life on anything, so probably no. I wouldn't take the bet. But it would be interesting to think, can you win a tournament? Well, some tournaments you might not be able to because, you might still go 5-zip, I guess. I'm just thinking, like, if you don't have banners and all that sort of stuff, what's the unit strength of this thing?
10? Straight 10s?
Probably.
I don't know. I didn't specify.
So in 3rd edition, they had elementals and you could get them in level 1s through to 10s, and they just had level 1s had all 1s, level 2s had all 2s. Level 10s had all 10s, effectively.
Oh, all right.
But they weren't 2,000 points. But they also didn't have the equivalent of what this thing's got. But yeah, that means you've only got 10 wounds, but you do have a 5-up, 5-up, 5-up. So do the maths on that. How many wounds? At what strength? Should have asked ChatGPT that. It's probably killable.
I reckon it's very killable. Yeah.
It's probably not with magic missiles at MR10.
You're passing what? 70%, I reckon, of those saves.
Yeah.
5-up. Because I think 5-up's like 53%. So then another third less of that.
40.
Yeah, roughly.
But their strength.
I feel like you're just going to lose combat and then still break. I don't know. I don't know why.
Saying the game mechanics still,
It's because you're only one.
The game mechanics are not in your favor. Yeah, you're one model.
You can just get multi-charged. Yeah.
Good go.
No, you're up. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't take a bet for that to win the whole.
We're not going to risk being turned into an elephant seal and dropped.
No,
into the Arctic Ocean from 10,000 feet.
No.
I don't know, if you're an elephant seal, you might be able to prevent them dropping you.
I just want to know why I only get a 5-up save. Why don't I get a 2-up, 5-up, 5-up, and not 5-up?
Well, you couldn't fly the helicopter. That's true. Why? Why is it? Yeah, and they're unmodifiable saves anyway. Yeah. Anyway, it's a ridiculous flash full edge. I'm glad I remembered to put this in.
Yeah.
Because we did have one. The question that you put in was, I think this is from this week. Miss Jung or Jay asks, "What's your strategy / the best strategy for deployment?" I like how they imply that our strategy would be the same as the best strategy.
Mine's not the same. Oh, does it imply that? Oh, I thought it meant what's your strategy. Yeah, it doesn't say or, I guess.
I think you feel. I feel like it's lumped in as the same, as meant to implying it's the same thing, which I feel very, very generous way of phrasing it.
Yeah, don't know if I'm the best person to ask on these. I always struggle. Well, yeah.
Because you kind of got to think, what's the point of this? What's this unit's role? Why am I putting it here? Kind of thing.
I always find too, it just depends on the army and what you build. Because like some of my armies over, especially the Tomb King ones, they didn't really have there wasn't like, oh, I've got to put this here if they put that there. It was more like this goes in the middle. These, the caskets have to go over here. They have to be within 12, that type of thing. And you end up forming this like a castle, or not a castle, but you know what I mean? Like a
casket,
a set deployment. And then you might have one or two other little shitty units that you don't care where they go. But that's how a lot of mine ended up going. And I probably still have to get a bit better in sort of counter deploying. But I don't know. I've just felt.
Oh, that's
even
the bad thing. Yeah, sometimes you can get obsessed with counter deploying and then end up with a shit setup that actually is self-destructive.
Yeah, you do it and then you go, oh, fuck, that was supposed to. But that's cool. This is really good against that and that, but this isn't going to work anymore because this thing, I needed this over here.
Yeah, that buff is over there.
Put it over here,
yeah.
I think especially so for Tomb Kings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their synergies are positional. And then also the terrain can also dictate a lot of things as well. You've got to bear in mind too. I don't know. I don't think there is a specifically the best strategy for deployment. You just got to, depends on the army, depends on your opponent.
I guess that's it. Your best strategy is knowing what, I guess, what your army should, how it should sit amongst itself.
Yeah, having, knowing what the jobs are for each unit, where they should be, firstly in relation to your own units, but also, and then ideally, where they're going to be most effective in countering your opponent's unit. But yeah, you can't focus on one or the other because otherwise you'll end up, penalizing yourself, I feel.
Yeah.
I think you're right with set deployments, but like you can have multiple set deployments. You could say like, oh, I might create 4 scenarios of not necessarily like the faction you're going against, but like the type of army. So you're going to have like fast cav army or like a big monster or, like maybe a gun line. You can just create set deployments for, certain common situations. I think that helps quite a bit.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I probably won't go down to 4 different ones, but I get your point. I think I would, though. You're right. I think if I was playing the same army a lot more, prepping for the tournament, then playing in a tournament, it definitely would by the end of it. 100%. At least knowing, going back to ASB talks about that heaps, like just knowing straight away, am I the attacker or the defender, and at least having deployments for that. Yeah. So just the other thing I'd say is don't always just deploy in the deployment line, like 12 inches or whatever it is. That's one thing that I think me over to do initially, and then you go, I didn't have to do that. Yeah.
Or vanguarding Bretts just go wherever they want, take out whatever they want.
It's a trap to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before we go back to the top of the releases and stuff, I've got a little story to tell you guys.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
So how I mentioned, I didn't mention this pod, but how I mentioned that my the owner of the clinic that I work at was interested in my podcast.
Found your podcast.
Found it.
What do you walk us into that? Because I was thinking, how did that even come about? Like, what do you mean? How do they know you run a?
Well, I don't keep the fact that I play Warhammer a secret. So generally, people that I work with know that. Now, I think it also comes about because Vivian, like my partner, also works there. I think she mentioned it that something I'd been doing the day before was doing my podcast and I was up late or that type of thing to one of the other nurses. And then suddenly they're like, what? He does a what? And then suddenly she was explaining to them what I do.
Is he a Patreon? Is he a supporter?
No, he's not a Patreon yet. But he, because at that point there was all this talk, it's a podcast, and I was like, oh guys, don't leave me alone kind of thing. But then I finally, 3 months later, I was like, fine, okay, so this is what's cool, because he kept asking me.
What if I just type your name in with podcast? What does that do? Does that come up?
Well, yeah, because he was looking for it. He was like, oh, okay, it's a Josh, it's got 2 other guys, it's a Warhammer podcast, and he was looking for it. And he was like, he thought he found it because there was a Warhammer podcast with Josh in it, but it was like 3 British guys, and he's like, damn it.
Pretty close.
But in the process of trying to look for these Warhammer podcasts, he's like, his whole algorithm got invaded by Warhammer podcasts, and he was like, what have I done to myself? But he was listening intently. Like, this guy's only, Andy's only maybe 8 years older than me, and he's got this vague interest in model stuff. He's not really a modeling guy, but he's more interested in sailing. And he was actually listening to our Salt Merchant episode quite intently. I didn't realize he was that interested. And he's like, Josh, I actually learned something about airbrushing that I didn't think I'd learned anything. And he actually learned, to use the blue tack as a masking agent.
Yeah, as a mask,
because he uses the airbrush for like painting like little details on his boat and stuff, and he just uses like masking tape, and sometimes he has to do like lots of little bits, and he's like, oh yeah, blue tape, man, that's much easier. I didn't know to think of that. So it's like,
talking about like a
dear,
like model boats, I would assume.
No, major, no. I mean physical sailing, like serious big boy sailing.
But he's airbrushing some things onto it.
Yeah, like it's like repainting the interior of the boats and stuff, like actual
so
serious
like racing and stuff.
Yeah, he does. He went across to Tasmania and like sailing, like serious sailing and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's his hobby.
For a second there, though, I thought you were going to say that you got him recruited up. So, do you ever listen to Old Word of Oz like that I do with ASB and Starkey? And Starkey has converted two people. Well, converted's probably not the right word because it sounds a bit weird, but he's recruited two other
the Church of Warhammer.
Yeah, dads from his kids' school. And I'm like, we talk about. I don't know. He's already up. I think he's up to 2 or something that he's ended up bringing in and playing games and stuff. I'm like, man, how the hell do you do that? And why are you doing that to people? That's cruel. Do you know what you're setting them up for if they actually go ahead with it?
Yeah. Such a deep hole to put them in.
Yeah.
Move over, Scientologists.
I don't know. This is going on tangent. That's probably because I'm half delirious next and tired. But have you ever had thoughts? I've had thoughts about, like, I don't regret things in life. I've liked what I've done and where I've got to.
Where are you going with this?
I know this is going, but occasionally I've thought, and it's usually when I'm asleep in the middle of the night, and you're just like, and I'm like, what would I have changed about like teenager years? Like when you're setting your, because I always think to myself, I'm in tech, and I'm like, man, why didn't I buy more domain names? And I was like, you try to think about the things that would have done really well.
Why didn't I invent Google?
I sometimes have had the thought going, like, would I have got a bit further if I hadn't spent so much time as a teenager playing Warhammer? It's like, because then I obviously dropped out of it for ages and then came back, and I'm like, but like it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, would I do a life where I didn't decided not to pick it up because of what it does for the rest of your life? It's not negative, but it's a lot of. It's a lot of effort. You know what I mean?
It is a lot of effort.
In a good way. I think
we could be spending our time right now doing something far more useful and productive to society and personally.
Well, I disagree. I'll just be
Yeah, this is the thing. 100%, man. That's why when people say, "Oh, I watched this movie," and I'm like, I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. I don't play computer games.
You are.
Yep. Fair. Very good point.
With the computer or play Warhammer figures, but anyway. So I definitely took it on a tangent then. But so you've never actually thought about not playing it, having a life without it.
Having a life
never
without
crossed your mind.
I haven't reflected on it like that. Are you implying? Are you trying to tell us something?
No, I'm not. It's just I have actually thought about it before. Not that I was gonna. It was probably even when I wasn't playing it. It was like, I think it was more that because I wasn't playing it and I was thinking about getting back into it. And I thought if I'd never got into it, I wouldn't be worried about not playing it and thinking that I'd like to get back into it. Because even when I was out of it, always check in, and then when I found a PDF of an army book, I'd download it. I was always so 6th and 7th, I still knew what was happening, but I never played it really. Played a bit of 6th, but But I was always, you always find some 6 months later, you're back on bloody Warhammer Empire forum or whatever, or Wargamer AU, looking at stuff, and then little kids at the time, so other stuff to do,
You ain't leaving.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but then there'll be these times when I went. Sometimes I wish I just didn't fucking pick it up because I wouldn't have even worried about it.
Have had that.
Wouldn't even known what it was. Yeah.
Didn't know what that itch was.
That hobby itch. Yeah, that's right.
The hobby itch never went away. I don't know. I dropped it completely. I never touched it for the 10 years. That's interesting that you kept in touch the whole time.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, well, I dropped it, but didn't always follow the
I dropped like a hot potato. It's called a stone. I don't know what the metaphor is, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah. Really? And I ironically had all my stuff all set up all the time, but it was in like a built-in wardrobe where you open it up and it was on shelves. So I had it set up, but I never actually used it. It wasn't like packed away.
So the skeleton in your closet.
Well, even when I first met like my girlfriend at the time, but now wife, like it was out. I had it out on shelves when I first met her. Like I wasn't hiding it. I just didn't.
It's out and proud.
Play it. Yeah.
Mine's still hidden. It's like, guys, come out, can I borrow some tools? It's like all in the shed. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, what's that? Oh, don't worry. Over
there. Anyway, cool.
Shall
Let's
we
get into Beastmen quickly. Or not quickly, it's fine.
So the problem with them releasing all this stuff on the same announcement is suddenly we're trying to cram this all in one episode. I don't appreciate
Well,
this.
sometimes we would have done YouTube videos of these, but it's just not doing as many at the moment. We're just busy. I did do the preview show. Which bloody window am I even sharing that on, though? Now I've lost it because we're fiddling around. There we go. Well, Beastmen, obviously Beastmen coming, and it sounds like it's bloody close because even right at the top here they say something where it's like lurks perilously close. So I think, I don't know, I mean obviously there's wave actually news, we might as well throw that in, like the wave 2 Wood Elves are going up this week. I don't know if it's in Australia because who knows.
Well, Cam's getting stuff, so yeah.
Okay, so it is. I mean, High Elves, sorry.
High Elves, right.
So do you think that's like the main like the main High Elves thing? So then Beastmen could come like within, say, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Is that? They got to release some other stuff.
Close. Yeah.
I imagine it'll be close. It's in a month.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it is, and then that means April you'd probably be able to pre-order some of this stuff. Anyway, let's compare this to the other. Well, maybe not, but anyway. So this Beastmen Brayherd's Battalion box, obviously the big thing that comes out. When I first saw this, I actually don't mind it because I was saying on the stream review that I actually do need a few more gauze and at least one of these guys, and I don't mind this. I'm going to print one of the Beastarium bloody like Gorgon equivalents, whatever they're called. What are they called in 9th Age? Gore-Tex or something.
A lot of Ungors, but there's a lot of Ungors.
Yeah, and so I was going to get this box, but then everyone's been ripping into it, so I'm like, well, maybe I don't need that many. I don't know, like, because you can buy the gauze separate and the dudes.
Yeah, I think the gauze. Yeah, they came in other previous boxes that you could get. What's that? 30 Ungors.
30 of each. Yeah.
Oh, 30 gauze as well.
Yeah, 30 Ungors and 30 gauze.
Oh, yeah, they're three ranks. Sorry, I thought it was 2 ranks.
Yeah. Yep. So I still don't think it's that bad of a box. Like if you need, I mean, yes, it's bad in the sense that you don't need infantry, but I think the game's going to swing at some point.
Well, gauze are good.
Yeah, if you view it in the current meta, that's...
Yeah,
that's a problem. But
you know how I bought those Vanguard boxes?
Yeah.
You only get 10 gauze, 10 Ungors, and 10 Bestigors. I bought 2 boxes, so I've only got 20 gauze. 20 gauze. So that's why I thought 20 gauze isn't enough. Like it probably is actually if you go like, you know, min max and everything else. But I feel like I need a few more gauze. Yeah, you definitely need a Gorgon. So that's why I was like, yeah, you buy one of these boxes, you probably have everything you need except for some Minotaur stuff. So
yeah. No,
I'm printing chariots and stuff, but I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't buy these chariots anyway. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. I still think it's better than bloody Orc box.
Not hard to beat the Orc box.
Yeah, it's pretty horrendous. And then anyway, you get the Arcane Journals coming. Obviously, I don't mind he looks a bit static, but I don't mind the art. I like all the art that's coming out. I think it's pretty cool.
So what do you think of so they're the 2 armies, aren't they?
Yeah, we actually know what this one is. Yeah, Primal Wild
Herd. The Minotaur Blood Herd.
Minotaur Blood Herd.
That
I
sounds
like it.
scary.
Minotaur army.
So do you think the wild
Terrifying.
herde's going to be like just like lots of the monsters, or do you think it's going to be more because it says herd? Is it going to be more like centaur stuff? Because I do have a question about that further down here somewhere.
That would be good.
Oh, it could be. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Centaurs are kind of cool. Yeah. Go on.
They are. Centaurs are. Yeah.
Just gonna open up the links.
They've
to this
never
while
been
we talk.
great. It'd be fantastic if they were like just a really good unit.
That's not going to work, damn it. So I'm just trying to get some links from Facebook that I had up while we're talking, but it ain't working. I'll get it later. Yeah, so that's the only thing I don't know what the wild herd, but obviously the Minotaur one looks pretty good. I think that'll be a good one.
Doom Bull's already good. Minotaur's already good. Like
the only thing I'm pretty confident I'll probably print the Doom Bulls and the Minotaurs. So I'm just I've got a couple of options.
Some good ones out
trying
there,
to
right?
design which ones, to use. So
GW aren't bad, but there's some good options there.
Well, I mean, to be honest, and then you got the AOS ones, because so Beastmen went out of AOS, but those Minotaur equivalents, are they still in Chaos? So they're still there. They must be because they were pretty new, weren't they? You know the ones that
there
Minotaurs?
there was the new one.
Yeah,
which
I
looked
can't remember
pretty
what they're called,
kick-ass.
but
yeah, I forget too. But they're big models too. They're quite big.
It might be the only issue.
They wear good. Yeah, they look really good.
So yeah, because I mean, obviously, I'll need to get some Minotaurs for this army if I'm going to start painting them up. And then a lot of people, I asked this on the Patreon today, but I'll say it on the podcast and people can leave a comment. What's your best Chaos spawn, a giant Chaos spawn STL that's out there? Because it feels like every Beastman army takes one of them. So I'm like, I mean, I can buy the proper one, I guess, but there must be so many out there. So
they're so good. The giant Chaos spawn, they're ridiculous.
Oh yeah, you ran into it with the who are you?
Oh yeah, I ran into
the
it.
Warriors one.
Yeah,
was that Cams or whatever? The other,
yeah, it was Cams.
Yeah,
nice
so
play.
that's cool. We got the two armies of Infin listed here. And then we get this is the other one, Law of Primal Magic. So do you reckon that's going to be a whole lore then?
Oh yeah,
I mean, it must be.
Or it could be signature spells.
But then they've already got signatures for beasts, I think, don't they?
Do they?
I'm pretty sure they all like everyone who's got SIGs, like their own little lorry ones.
Oh, true. Yeah,
they're in there.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. So I think it's like a full lore again, which is kind of crazy, which is cool. I think it's good to throw. I think we need a few more laws. There's just not enough magic.
Like, I wonder if that'll be for the. Do you reckon that's for the primal wild herd?
Maybe. Don't know.
Kind of like trolls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wild side. Of course.
Because troll magic you can only take with a troll.
Well, no, you can bring it. You can bring one of those troll dudes. You can bring a hag and stuff in.
Oh, okay.
So there's a hag who can do it. Well, I think there's a magic item that you can get, which allows you to then use the troll magic.
So not a mercenary. You can just bring a hag in a grand army.
Yes, just rare choice in a grand. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, sweet.
And then you get these plastics. So I didn't even realize this until researching this. Like this Beastman, because he looks pretty cool. Like, he's an AOS model. So is this like the first AOS model that's gone back to? As in, this was not a fantasy model. It was an AOS. To start with. Yeah, apparently it came out in 2017 or something. Or
I didn't realize that.
So neither did I unless I got it wrong. So let us know. But when I was looking at some dates on it, apparently this was released for Beastmen for one of the Beasts of Chaos AOS range. Like, you know how they were just doing those books and you get one model?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So
there's going to be no crossover. What happened there?
Yeah.
Reverse
pretty slow.
Yeah. And then you get this guy. He comes in those Vanguard boxes. So that's Retain Plastics, and then obviously we've got all these which we just talked about. The Bestigors, they look pretty cool, still, don't they?
Yeah.
They're okay. They're just, I guess the problem with them, they've just struggled. Well, in 8th they were good. Everyone had them, I think, wasn't it? That was the big block you had in 8th. It was Bestigors.
Was it?
Oh, I can't remember. Who
I
knows?
don't remember. I don't remember playing against Beastmen very often in 8.
Yeah, well, no, that's
They're
right.
pretty rare to see.
The Ungors used to go alright, I thought, because they like had missile weapons or something. Anyway.
And then, the Minotaurs, they're looking a bit dated, but I don't mind that red paint job better than the other colours, actually. But it is, again, older ones. These are all 8th ed ones, so they're pretty... Well, not 8. No, hang on. Were these... Beastmen didn't get... They must have got this at the back end of 7th. Did they get the Gorgon in that then? They must have. These must be 7th ed. Beastmen never got an 8th book, did they?
No, they didn't.
No,
them and the Bretts never got a new book.
Yeah. So pretty old.
Did, I mean.
Yeah. And then you get the new resin model, which is cool. Little shaman dude.
Yeah.
Crawlmore, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Freaky looking familiar.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then Razan, the Doom Ball. This thing, it's just, I just can't get my head around it.
Was it the
I got that. I've got that.
Oh, you do?
You have it? Of course you do.
God, does it look better in real life? It looks really bad there, I reckon.
Nah, it looks just as bad in real life.
There's sort of excitement about that being released.
Yeah, I was gonna use it in 9th age as my there was one of the spells you could have like a wild beast. I forget what it was called. Used to come on. Beast magic. Anyway.
Weird. And then the Jabberwocky or Jabberslythe, whatever it is.
Slithy tongue.
Yeah. I I've only played against it once, but it looked cool in real life. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But might have been a China cast at the time. I can't remember. But obviously they're being redone as the proper Forge World resin now, so it should be pretty cool. The Cockatrice is interesting. I just think it's always the way you look at the stats. I remember when we did the review, we're like, oh, there's some really good elements with that thing. And then same time, it's Monstrous Keach probably get killed and doesn't have many wounds, I think. Is that right? I can't remember what it was. It wasn't very tough, and it's petrifies the gaze that never does a whole lot, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame. But well, we'll see. And then we've got metals coming back. These front two Bestigor dudes look pretty cool. I think the shamans are a bit dated.
Yeah, the top shaman's probably the
just his skinny legs coming out. It's weird.
Like an old Skaven, like they just don't look
almost Skaven like, with horns. And then the BSBs looks. I mean, yes, they're older, but I wouldn't say they're not that bad.
Looks
they're pretty
right.
good,
Yeah,
actually.
it looks good.
Centaurs are pushing it. Now, this is the bit. This is what I was trying to get up. So, did you guys see the Facebook post about this release?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this because it never came.
No, I don't know what you're talking
I've got
about.
2 links here. Sorry, I'll just have to.
Yeah.
I will have to share the other screen because it's in a different Chrome. It's in one of my different profiles. Sorry, that's logged in to Facebook. So just
Mission
bear with
control.
me quickly. Stop, present, share.
Surely there's more than 2 Centaur models too. Like,
well,
just weird.
Well, funny you say that, Andrew.
Oh, is that where we're going? Oh, sorry.
That's where we're going. So this was posted. These are actual shots, and this is what appears to be a box. You know how like they usually do these as box pictures. You know what I mean? Like this sort of
Yeah.
Like that. Like that's what would come in the box, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they released, and that's the hero, that's that guy there on the other screen that I had. But then you got this. So they were never plastic, though. Hey, they don't look new. They look like they are the old, whatever they were. I think someone said
the old ones.
they recasted them into fine cast at some point. You get 5 in a box. So maybe that's what we're looking at. Maybe we're looking at. I don't know. It's weird.
But they're all looking the same. So there's like 2 without the. Yeah, there's only 2 different sculpts besides the.
So they expect you to buy a shit ton of single dudes.
Even the commander got the same Oh, the commander even different?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Do you think they'd be selling this as a box of 10 guys with command?
They couldn't they wouldn't sell 10 fine cast ones, would they? Or 10 metals, would they? I don't know. It seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
I don't know.
But that's what the box implies. So as you say, like the other
if that's a box, that's the bit I'm confused about. And if that wild hunt is Centigores, I'm like, oh god.
And is that wild hunt?
Figures. You'll be printing them because there's so many good Centigore ones.
Oh yeah,
there is. Yeah, it's one of those themes that is very, very popular sculpt.
Yeah, but yeah, just no one could answer it on the thing either. They were all a bit like confused what this picture is, and it wasn't announced on the thing, so it's like, well, yeah, and they don't look it's not like they've turned around like the Reavers and like we've re-engineered them and sculpted them, and they're all new. It's like no, they look turfy and old. So they're
facing off against some stout dwarves.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because that was
interesting.
That was interesting.
Very.
Cool. What else? Quickly then. That's on the same page, hey. So I'll leave that up. I'll bring that up in this one. Where are we?
Oh right, it's all in the same page.
Oh, hang on,
my God. They didn't even have a separate article. I thought that.
Sorry.
Oh, there's more stuff. Yeah,
there's metal. The one metal. What's it called? I was going to say Gorgon. What's it called? A Razor Gore.
Razor
with the massive eyes or whatever the hell it's got, and then this chariot, which is
such a popular sculpt. Razor Gore is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, thanks. I'll just print the other ones. There's so many other good ones.
Yep.
Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see how many people go out and buy these. There would be a few people, but I don't know. They're looking pretty weird. Like even just
and not just in an Oldhammer way, just weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So hopefully, and like even like what people do, even if you wanted to stay in Games Workshop world, you just go get those boar chariots or whatever, and just switch out the characters and put some gauze or your shaman in the back. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty easy to have a chariot. So don't think you'll be getting them.
Nah. So,
well, I mean, after obviously I'm getting some orcs done, but I am going to try and start gluing some of these dudes together because I wouldn't mind trying to get the
Beastmen.
Yeah, the Beastmen.
Oh, right.
As my airbrush oiling
project.
Projects. So
you got to get that done before you start Cathay.
Yes, exactly. The way they're bringing out these armies, I'm getting worried that they're all going to back up one after the other. And I've still got wood elves like all in plastic out there too, on sprue.
No, I didn't know that actually.
The only thing I don't have is enough wild riders, and now I'm looking at this going, oh, I bought this by.
Go, stop it. Control yourself.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, but for re-released battalion boxes and ignoring that infantry shit, it's a pretty good box, I think, in terms of the quality of the sculpts, given that you're getting 2 8th ed.
Yeah, the 2 8th ed boxes, the dual boxes, and then all those archers that became quite hard to find, even in 8th ed, those archers.
Oh, did they? Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay. Wow. 32 of them, really. And then 10 of the Wild Riders or Sisters, which Wild Riders now because they nurse. Hopefully they go back and fix something like that. They just killed off the Sisters. And then 20 of the Wild Hood Rangers or Eternal Guard, depending on how you build them. I love how they called them Wild Rangers. They're actually, I checked this. They are Wild Wood Rangers. They've just
Wildwood. Yeah.
Pretty good. Would you use any of them, Josh, or do you have enough of all yours? Or did you print? I can't even remember. Is yours all Citadel?
Yeah. They predate my access to a 3D printer. So they're all genuine. Yeah.
I don't think Josh has got any Eternal Guard. He's only got the Wildwood Rangers from memory.
Good memory. Yeah. Good memory.
And you had that of 20
of the Wildwood Rangers.
Yeah.
That was my cornerstone of my Slugger army. Wildwood Rangers.
Now, they're the guys I wanted to talk about briefly. I know infantry is shit, but
Ooh.
When I looked at their stats there, I was like, on one hand, they're pretty, I don't know, like weapon skill 5, basically a great weapon, but no
Line guard.
multi-wound 2, and +1 attack against fear or terror, or is it just terror? I can't remember. But I was like, oh, God, they could dish out some shit.
Fear or terror,
yeah.
You know, but obviously the meta would have to change a bit to sort of have more, you know, even if it's just more monsters. Like if ogres are around and stuff and they cause fear. Because did they get the +1 attack against fear? I can't remember now.
I got it in front of me. Yeah, fear or terror. But and the
Yeah,
multi-wounds 2 also is in that rule.
Yeah, like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But end of the day, tough 3. What save of a 6 do they have? Something?
Yeah. With light armor.
Yeah.
They can take shields, but yeah, obviously it's a two-handed weapon.
Yeah. But we get the 48.
I don't know. They're similar rules to 8th Ed, and they weren't that popular in 8th either.
No, that's right. It's a bit of a shame. They look pretty cool. I don't mind the look of them with their big.
They just had a strange position in the army.
Yeah,
everything else is super mobile, and
they're
not quite an anvil. It's like an aggressive, supposed to be elite infantry, but yeah, in the army that doesn't really need it. I don't know. It was odd. Yeah. But now, I do have a unit of them. I don't have an internal guard.
Now, with this Arcane Journal, we don't actually know the armies of infamy with this one.
I know. It's not mentioned.
Yeah. So I guess it is further out, so maybe they're going to try and bleed it out. But
it must be. Yeah, that must be intentional.
We do know we get obviously Orion, which is cool, and then we get an Araloth, that 8th Ed character that came out, which must be alive in this time, but I guess he is an elf. So, and here's another one where we get spells from the Law of the Wilds. So we got what was the Beastmen one? Primitive wild magic, some shit.
Primal.
Law of primal magic, and then we've got the wild magic. So there's a lot of wildness happening here.
Yeah, a lot of wildness.
Yeah. We got the return of Wood Elf Kindred. So they're like the sort of is it honors in High Elf? They're a bit like that, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah, they are. Yep, very similar. That'll be awesome. So much flavor. Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So,
although, I mean, do they have the weird thing is, like, classically those kindreds were, essentially giving the effect of what are now shadow dancers and waystalkers.
That's what I was wondering about. Yeah. So I wonder if they'll change that up a bit, and you'll do something else, like you actually be more like stuff you buy, like chaos gifts type. I don't know. Like I wonder if they'll be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got all those type of hero choices. Hey, like you don't need.
Well, you only got those two, so I guess you don't have a Wild Rider choice specifically, or a. There's a Waystalker. What else has been missing from there? Eternal Guard, Kindred, or a Shapeshifter one, I suppose. I don't know what else you'd stick in there. Really. Let's take that. They've come up with some new ones, so it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. So the plastic, like I said, we got what's his name, Talson or whatever his name, Lord of Talson. Sorry, it's Araloth or however you say it.
Yeah, Araloth.
You get those Wood Elves. They're a little bit weird looking, but I think they're still pretty good. They were one of the better models that when they first came out, all plastic. Say these guys.
Yeah, I don't think they've aged too bad.
Just don't get the half face cover with. I just never. I don't know.
Liked it.
Yeah, I didn't like those heads. The half face cover heads. I agree.
Yeah.
I like the hoods.
And then obviously, like I said, the 8th Ed ones, the Eternal Guards, so you're getting all that in 20s.
Yeah.
Lots of Glade Riders, which you'd use, and they're in packs of 12, which is pretty normal now for fast cabs, so they're pretty cool. And then obviously these 8th Ed packs for the, what are they called? The
Wild Riders
and Wild Riders. So, I mean, they're, like I said, mostly pretty good plastics, which is good.
Yeah, relatively modern plastics.
Yeah. Orion coming back with his 2 hounds, which is interesting. He looks pretty cool. The hounds are a bit derpy, but he looks pretty cool.
Orion looks
Yeah, those hounds. What the hell?
And some of these metal, like that classic guy with the big double hand, like the
double-handed weapon.
He looks cool.
Yeah, he's an awesome one.
I never got the horns on the other guy. I just never.
Yeah. It's a lady. Like this guy.
No,
sort of the wild,
yeah.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe it was the original Araloth. Hasn't he got is that an eagle or something? A bird on his arm? Because isn't that Araloth like the bird goes out and pokes someone in an eye or something?
Oh, that was Score the Falconer, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Ah,
yeah,
right.
from 5th Ed.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Special character. This dude riding a stag, and then another magic user riding
Love the
a
stag
horse.
mini.
So yeah, that'd be a classic one. People have been trying to use them. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, I think the eagles and dudes just don't stand
it's
that great. But
yeah, the surfing eagle guy is just. It's goofy then. It's still goofy now.
Classic.
Now they did actually do the box sets too with these guys. You're getting the old treeman as well, which I did knew was going to happen, but it's a bit of
I don't mind the old treeman.
The old treeman, really?
I just don't understand why you don't release. I mean, I know why, but these are 8th Ed kits. You're not bringing them back, like the dirty model. Stupid.
The dryads and the new treeman look cool, but yeah, I didn't mind.
You never see the dryads in here because they're in 8th. They're in AOS, even though you can still get them. It's so weird. It's like,
that's so weird.
So dumb.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
And the treeman, the tree kin, which again, monster simply just don't seem to last.
Yeah, so no Kurdoth hunters or anything like that, please.
And then you got all these. These were hard to get, and actually, I don't know. On second, looking at them again, they don't look too bad actually. I don't think, but they're just little. I reckon you get better ones. Probably, I would imagine, if you're looking for 3D prints.
Well, Josh's, you got the owls, don't you?
The owls?
Yeah. Have you got the owl models?
No. Oh, Ben, my co-host on 6th Ed Fanatics, does have an owl.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have any owls.
Yeah.
That's very old-fashioned, original.
Yeah. This was my favorite dragon in the day, just because
a lot of nostalgia.
That one, the most. Yeah, and obviously I got Andrew. Help me get the other one. I think was it. Yeah, I think I got a forest dragon. Is that the same model effectively?
The Twilight. Nah,
yeah.
That's what.
That's slightly different.
Yeah, the Twilight Dragon's got like vines all around the dragon.
Yeah, it was modernized. Okay, it's got little spikes on it, and
yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the similar feel, I suppose.
Yeah, but they're all with it very similar, Imric and all that. These serpentine.
Yeah, they've got interchangeable parts. Like your tail can be different, your feet and your face. Yeah.
Same chassis, as you said.
Yeah, the chassis was. I guess it's one way of phrasing it. Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So there's heaps coming out from them. Then there's more medals coming back. The wizard on a eagle. The old bright.
That is old.
I think that's the one you gave me, Andrew. I think I've got that in a bag somewhere that you said, "Do you need this?" I was like, I don't know.
That is so old.
I swear it's that one.
Yeah. No, it would
Way
be.
Watcher,
I'd like
Way
2 or 3
Stalker
of them.
dude.
No, the Way Stalker.
Give them away.
And the branch race.
Yeah, so they're all coming. And then there is pics of this, but I didn't go and find it. But they're also bringing back the Beast Pack from 1987, 12 miniatures, which is interesting because apparently the original one has 14. But kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys seen it, but you got 3 sort of handlers with 3 boars, 3 wolves, and 2 something else. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the forest beasts.
Yeah, it's I'd say something that's going to be fun. It'll be in that wild hunt or whatever it's called, that other type of armies. Well, we don't know what the armies are for this one is. So, probably a little bit of a fun nostalgia kick, made to order thing more than a actual competitive choice. But that's cool.
The old nostalgia would have been the old war dancers with like the crazy hair and the like they're doing those weird. All the war dancers are, I suppose, doing like weird aerobatic sort of.
It's funny though; they're in the shots, but they're not in this article, are they? For like returning metals.
Yeah,
the war dancers. I haven't seen any.
So I'm assuming that it will be
all the Way Watchers.
Yeah, that's right. So, They actually
watch
had
it.
scouts in metals too, because I've got them, but I'm assuming most of the time you just make them out of the other kit, don't you? The Deepwood Scouts. You just paint them slightly different. Yeah.
I green stuff like extra leaves on the back on their cloaks to make them look a little bit more scouty.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Wood Elves coming next after that, so I'm assuming this is all going to be out in the next couple of months, and version 1 is done. As in, like, the main. Obviously, we are getting Cathay now. I was always thinking we're getting Cathay, version 2.
Once this is settled in,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did not expect. I'm still quite stunned, to be quite honest, with what's happened in the 4 days ago. It's been nice chat talking it over because, I don't know what to do with these feelings. GW really surprised me. I'm just genuinely.
What does it mean? What does it change for you, though, Josh? Like, you're not obviously
nothing really
doing
specific.
too much with any of them at the moment.
It makes what I'm wondering is what the motivation is for them to, rather than stretch things out, which they always do, suddenly to go, here are 3 massive releases all on the same day, which they never do before. And I'm wondering why are they doing it?
You know how we were talking about this year would be the year that if you wanted 3 legs to your stool, you had 40k 2 years ago. Last year was AOS. This year is, well, we don't know. Like last year was AOS and Old World, I guess, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But AOS was the big summer launch. Do you think they're slowly just trying to speed it up to the point where they'll just have eventually Old World in this slot? You know what I mean? And so they're going to, is there a chance they would push out Old World V2 or an updated, hard book, rule book and everything by Christmas? I can actually do that. I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Have they suddenly changed what the deadlines are, and now they're trying to push stuff out so that they could do something like that?
Because next year, I'm assuming, is 11th Ed 40k, because that's 3 years, isn't it, since the last one? Is it 1, 2, 3? I think so. I'm getting mixed up, but
but it seems like they've just pushed the pace up for some reason.
Yeah,
they have a reason to get that out.
The scope has changed, or whatever they said.
It has.
So, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I just
not at all. No, not complaining. It just makes me wonder what's in store for the rest of the year. That's But at the end of March, what's happening? What have we got to come? Optimistically, is what I'm wondering.
I mean, technically, I not that we would know what everyone's feeling, but I feel like your point about 3 armies you sort of need enough time to settle in and digest it all, and stuff. And so I feel like maybe I'd rather just them come out with if it's not more FAQs or even just some type of other update that just says this is what we're going to do with certain major issues, and then leave it like that for the year and just let people get Cathay out and finish the Beastmen and Wood Elf armies, and maybe that's all we need. I hate saying that because
are they going to do Dark Elves next?
No, because that's the rumor. Is that the rumor just because they've been taken out of Sigma, right?
Yeah, I think it's because they've been taken out of Sigma. Yeah. But they could easily be looking at re-releasing the legacy factions.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love that. They need to come back, that's for sure. So
maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're like, all right, we'll get all the main ones out, and then it's going really well. Let's just release the whole new army, and then we'll just start throwing all the other legacy factions out too, and just get it all.
I think
maybe
that's awesome.
Maybe that's why they increase the pace, because something like, let's get all these factions done.
Yeah, that could be. Because, I mean, it's money, isn't it? I mean, all you're doing is printing the same stuff you already had anyway, or reboxing some of the stuff that was on
maybe they're realizing it's selling much better as a supported Old World line than as a really old, unwanted Age of
did you
Sigmar
even
line.
see, I mean, this is driven from Space Marine 2 games and stuff, but you see they're above, in their half-yearly report, they were well above their targets in terms of profit and stuff. So no world's got to factor into that for sure. So
definitely.
And I don't know. Again, I don't know, but I hear AOS 4 is not very well received, and that their launch box is still sitting on shelves and stuff. So not to say it's selling bad, it's just not. I don't know. I reckon it's been pillaged a little bit because of this.
I can definitely say.
Maybe that's the change dynamic that we're
People can only play so many different game systems. That's the problem. So it's a problem. You got to get these gamers from somewhere. Yeah.
There's only so many nerds in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Although out of everyone we know, they probably come from 40K more than AOS, which I've always thought that anyway. So because it's just too different. Anyway, we're running long, so we're going to skip hobbies and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'll go through my games tomorrow with my good friend Ben. We'll go through our Uprising stuff. You guys can find out on the record.
Another day, yeah. Well, so if you'll record tomorrow, are you gonna then? When will that come out? Just as soon as it gets recorded, or did you want to do it through a live stream? Click live stream and just live stream it, and then it's done. Oh no, because we need to put the music and stuff. We don't have your music stuff sorted.
Oh, right, all that stuff.
Yeah. Just do it normally. I was just wondering when's it going to come. Like, is it almost going to beat this one out? But it probably won't. Because we'll have to.
Well, it depends when we choose to release it. Yeah, because I'm completely useless at all the production side.
Right. Forget about that. That's all good.
Well, I could do it as a live stream. I don't know. I feel like this discussion is something we should be having after the end of the episode.
Yeah, people are. If they
no. We're so organised, guys.
We're so organised.
You know what's going on.
Actually, I got one hobby question that it's more of a thing that happened to me, and I wanted to ask Josh if it's happened to him.
Ooh.
It was with my 3D printer. And have you ever printed the totally wrong thing by not looking at what you're printing? Because it happened to me the other day. As in, because you know how like a USB you end up with like 1 million different files on it. Yeah, and I was printing these the equivalent of the Middenheim, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called in Highlands. They're the Middengard or something. And I'd already printed like them on horses, but then with that, that thing they had the other day where you could get extra heroes and the heroes and fillers thing they did. I got the guys on foot as my Chewton guard for my Empire, and I squished 21 of them on the plate, and I was like, cool, and I was all excited, and then I went out to get them in the next morning. I got them out and tipped it upside down and went, that's a horse. What the fuck is this? I printed a whole other set of like random archers.
That's what you'd already done.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, press the wrong button.
What's going on?
Josh is so annoying.
Yeah,
I think I have done that once just because I didn't look closely at the little preview.
Yeah, like it's hard sometimes because it's pretty small. And when they both started with Midden, whatever it was called, not Middenheim, whatever the freaking other name is.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, should have paid more attention.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But anyway.
Yeah, hopefully you can make use of all those beautifully shaped and cured pieces of resin.
Yeah. Well, I've cured them and put them in a bag, so I'm assuming I'll get to them at some point. Anyway, we better wrap this up before I fall asleep, guys. Sorry, there's been a few big nights lately.
So. No, you've done well.
All good. Thanks, guys, for listening to another Old World Fanatics. As Josh just said, check out his 6th Ed Uprising results, hopefully coming the next couple of days as well with Ben. Actually, one of the questions we should have said is Arcane Journal Empire. That might be this week. Me and ASB are sorting that out, so that hopefully will come out. And I think
that wasn't a question. That was a suggestion of a question. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a suggestion of a question. And I think Andrew's getting a game in with Cam at least this week, so we might even have a bat wrap out. So plenty to watch on Old World Fanatics. Jump over to Old World, patreon.com, Old World Fanatics to support us over there, or just hit like, subscribe, leave us a cool comment. And we always like the chats, and see us next week as well. And I don't know what we got on next. Oh, it might even be a live stream next week. I'll have to sort that out.
Wait, was it the second or the first Monday of the month?
Don't know. One of them. We're pretty.
Does it matter?
Whatever.
Do it next week?
I think it's next week. I think it's a live stream next week, people. Next week.
Go for it.
Whatever date that is. We'll start getting it out. Maybe we'll get a guest on. So there we go.
Here we go.
Anyway, for the live stream, that'd be fun.
Time to close off. Thanks for listening to another Old World Fanatics. We'll check you next time. Keep rolling dice, guys.
Yep.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah.